Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I'm here in Los Angeles, California. I'm getting ready in a couple of days where I'm giving a speech here, and what you're invited to. You can find out more at drboycelosangeles.com. Anyway, I was looking at this great video made by the Griot about the war on drugs and mass incarceration. Now, you've heard me talk about this before. You've heard me kind of make sure that you get this message in terms of understanding what this government has done to you. What this government is doing to you, how a lot of the chaos you're seeing in the black community isn't coming from black people. This was social engineering. This was all social engineering. Let me explain what I mean by that. Well, if you look, here's this quote. I want you to see this. This is actually from the video. I'm gonna give you kind of a screenshot here, but basically, this is a quote from John
the anti-war left and black people.
Ehrlichman.
We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war or black.
In fact, I'm gonna scroll through so you can see it.
With marijuana and blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities.
Okay, so what I wanted to share with you, and I don't even know if you guys can hear the audio or not. I'm still testing out this system, but the reason I stopped talking is because the audio was in my ear pretty loud, so I just quit talking. But I wanted you to look at that because that quote basically says that the government orchestrated the whole, crack epidemic. The government played a big part in creating all the chaos in the black community that you saw in the 70s and the 80s, which actually affects the community right now. Black people didn't choose to be as ratchet as some of us think that we're supposed to be. All the ratchetry was kind of built up from the disruption of black communities by allowing drugs into black communities and then also incarcerating black people for those drugs, right? They don't incarcerate the white kid in the suburbs. They don't incarcerate the big kingpin bringing it in from out of the country, but they'll gladly go lock up tens of thousands of black men on the corner and send them away forever and destroy their families because the families no longer have a father now, and so the children grow up without a father, and then the children end up in all kinds of situations they wouldn't end up in. I can tell you, if I didn't have a dad, my life would have been very different. And so a lot of young people don't even know what it's like to have a father. They can't even imagine that. And a lot of it was because black people were number one on the list when it came to those getting hooked on the drugs, when it came to those being sent to prison for the drugs, when it came to those being killed for the drugs. And then also you had millions of people that were traumatized by what they saw. My daddy went to prison for 35 years. 4 of my friends got shot before I graduated from high school, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Or I had a crack house on the corner, so we had to dodge bullets on the way to school every day. And I want you to understand, once again, that this is all social engineering. This is all designed to kill off momentum that black people had gained in the 1960s, where we started standing up against the terrorism that was inflicted upon us. When we started to love ourselves, when we started to stand together, they said we don't want these black people standing together. We want them at war with each other, and it pretty much worked. You see now that the black community just lost so much. I would say the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s were kind of a dead 30 years for black people for the most part. Especially you look at what happened to the music. I don't think that was an accident. I don't think it was an accident that you suddenly had these white and Jewish record labels promoting music, telling black men to engage in criminal behavior. You remember, you can't even make a song about killing a dog without getting all kinds of backlash. But these damn record labels will make a song about killing a black man in a minute and pay you money to do it. So understand this, that they will pay people money to promote the idea of murdering you. Remember, people talk about Hitler, and they talk about what he did in terms of exterminating the Jews, and also they talk about the fact that he helped create an environment where the hatred toward the Jews was so bad that they could exterminate them without any sort of explanation, that people would just say, oh, well, they're Jewish, so they must have deserved it. Well, when music is mass promoting the idea of murdering black people, and then suddenly the police are shooting black people and incarcerating thousands of black people, well, there are people who say, oh, well, he's black, he looks like a criminal, he probably deserved it, he probably did something wrong anyway. So don't you understand? I want you to understand this, that these environments, these death traps, these really oppressive, terroristic environments created by this racist government, which unfortunately happens to be now run by a biracial man. Hopefully he's doing a better job than other people. I don't know Barack Obama very well, but I can say that these environments are created through government policy, through media, etc. It's not a coincidence that you have a lot of black neighborhoods where it's easier for a black man to get a gun than it is for him to get an education. Where do those guns come from? We don't make those guns. Do you really think the government can't stop those guns from getting into the south side of Chicago? Most of those murders are drug related. Most of those murders are those little babies that are getting killed and gunned down on the street are being killed because somebody's letting the guns and the drugs into the hood. They don't have that problem on the north side of Chicago where white people live. They got the drugs, but they don't have all the guns and they don't have all the chaos. So because white people consume the drugs more than we do. They sell the drugs just as much as we did. So what I would just say at the end of the day is that we must remain diligent. You have to keep your eyes open on this. Do not think for 1 second that the government's not doing this again now. That there are not things in place, policies in place designed to disrupt your community, to destroy you, and to undermine any progress that black people seem to make. That's why I always tell people, in my class, I say, I don't know how influential I am one way or the other, but I need you to be prepared for my death. If you suddenly hear Dr. Boyce Watkins killed himself in the bathtub, I need you to make sure you say he would never kill himself. We need an investigation. You understand? The other thing too is that even if something were to happen to me, that's okay, because I think it's better to die for something than to die for nothing. So I'm okay with dying for a cause. That's why I talk to you so much. That's why I share ideas with you, because I don't know when my last video is going to be. I don't know when my last article is going to be. So you might as well get ready now. So long story short, but it's not about me. What I'm really just trying to tell you is that we got to really look at this thing in its entirety. Understand that the craziness that you see in black culture right now, this nonsense, this bullshit that people mistake for black culture, is not black culture at all. Black culture has nothing to do with the stuff that's being fed to you by racist people who run these TV and radio networks. So that's all I want to say to you guys. I'm about to get out of here. By the way, don't forget, check out the drboycewatkinstour.com to find out when we're coming to your city. We got LA on the 10th, Kansas City on the 22nd, Baltimore on the 28th, Philadelphia on May 5th, New Orleans on May 19th, Houston on May 15th. So go check it out, and I hope to see you there. Take care, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.